Look at this, me gaming star here, and today I am back with another episode of the Grace Attorney Adventures. Last time we basically started off the trial. We did part one and two of the trial. This we're gonna start part 3 and 4 and end it. So it's gonna be a bit of a long one. Let's go. Shall we? 17th of April. Here we go. Ah, Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards the frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny! Are you alright? Did you say anything? What's the point, eh? Why go on all this trouble and fighting so hard for the likes of me? What? Well, you say it. That picture. The picture? Picture. Ah, you mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder? Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like that, that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they? Well, I won't pretend it was a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presents it to the court. Surely you've got out. That's a beam now. You still can't think I'm innocent. Of course I can. Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? Bruce clearly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear from you. Alright then. Tell us. It was after we had the dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we had all chat up in your office, didn't we? Yes, I remember. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out when I went down the street to the 221 to Winnipeg's place. I had to know if Iris' story was there or not. The hand of the Baskervilles? I don't know what it was. I don't know what's it about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in the shows don't like something I want people reading. So that's why I lied to Iris about sticking in the log with Winnipeg for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Winnipeg's. I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea how it was gonna kick off, did I? Wrong place at the wrong time scenario. Stuck the lock and stuck inside. It was dark as you like it in there. So I gave oil lamp the counter a bit of a week, and that's when. What do you think you're doing? Yeah! I nearly died, did it? Next thing I knew. Oh, that makes sense. I grabbed the gun off the counter and it was waving off the air like I don't know what. Oh, that actually makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, she was just scared. Ah, you're the girl who's here in the afternoon. I don't think pickpockets went on robbery. The manuscript, you've got it in it. The shelves leave a lot of papers with you. With you, a story. I beg your pardon. The hand of the something or other is in there. I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it to have to do with it anyway. I just want to see it's there. That's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I want to know if Sean's really pawned it off or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go. Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gum around, would you? Oh, that actually makes more sense now. That makes so much sense. No wonder. So then the old Gov unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. Uh-huh, there we go. And it was there, alright. The manuscript shows weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop. The Skulkin brothers arriving at the scene, yes. What was that noise? Someone breaking in? Dear me, is there some big convention here tonight? I don't know what about. I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry. I better go and take care of it. I could possibly have my gun back. Oh, well, I'll come with you, Anne. Now, don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. Oh, okay, bro. And with that, he took the gun out of me and walked out back to the shop. And that's when he shot the intruder. And in the storeroom, like I said, staring me ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help that, see. So I was just about to go in the storeroom myself when 2 gunshots. I heard a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. 2 at the same time? But there was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quickly as you like, because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Winnebeck might come to you. Yeah, so I went to grab the old cop's gun. I figured I'd put the fight at least. But there was only one bullet, but when I got a better look at them, I knew. Winnebeck was gone. I felt funny and maybe all of a sudden kind of dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. That must be when you passed out, Gina. If I had done what I done, the old girl might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. I'll be alright, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno's about to put a real culprit to the mill. That gove what was there in the afternoon. That Egbert Benedict. I still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing. He was there that night. Mario, don't bark at Egbert Benedict! We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Mario was barking at the guy! I'm not joking. I heard a little woof. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what? You can leave it to Alvina's capable hands now, Ginny. Hi, Mario, come here. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, I've forgotten what happened in it. Come on, it was only like 2 months ago. Me and Miguel did. We told you the whole pack of lies. And you got the book done up with it, even though he was a killer? No, I can never forget that. Oh, I did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of the error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? You gotta be working to get another kill off the hook, you know? I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in the trial. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And as strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe me. It wasn't me who would have done it. Oh, Runa. But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest. I was so happy. I cried. But even then, somewhere inside of me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute, unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What would you say? I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Even though I'm a diver and a no-good liar, you're not alike McGill did. I know that. Eh. That's right. You're our friend, Ginny. Iris. We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust. Yes. That's really all we need to know. Exactly. Mr. Naruhodo, Defending Gina Lestrade, our legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head to the court immediately. Yes, of course. Thank you. Let's go. Mario! Hi, my man. Why are you licking? I've been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time. So I knew only too well just how hard it was to pull off faith in another, and I also knew just how hard it was to the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is the final chapter, the final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. I hope you're watching over me, too, partner. Mario! My Mano! He's a licker! Oh my god, look at this man. He's a licker. Oh, you're licking your little paws, you cutie patootie. I love you. I love you. Cutie. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina trade. Lord Van Zeeks, you successfully subpoenaed the witness. The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain was delayed the arrival's carriage, you see. I see. Then let us turn attention to Inspector Gregson's Perseus, the case heard in the court this morning. The glaring admission that our bully reports a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And though the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at sea makes a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in a courtroom. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me, a very big mistake. My lord! The subpoena witness just arrived at the building. Oh, that was quick. That was quick. Thank you, officer. Show him to stand without delay. Mr. Edgar Benedict. And he's such a dick. I'd expect him to cross paths with him again so soon. Certainly not like this. The dick. Alright, let's go, boys. There he is. Hi. And Gregson, too. Thank you for complying with the court subpoena on such a short notice, sir. But of course, my lord, as a standing member of London society, it's my pleasure to oblige. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the court. Ashley Graydon, communications officer. Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communications Station. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about. You were appraised for the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume. Yes, I was. Something to do with murder that took place at the pawnbrokers in Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there at night in question. That is the accusation, indeed. This is really as beyond the joke, you know. Very well, without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath. Gladly, my lord. Gladly. Alright. Get on with it, dick. After all, you are a dick. Get on with it. Naturally, I have occasion to make some use of pawnbroker services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break the place on the night of a murder? Of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such outrageous accusation. Even if certainly parties were here to claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some scarbable detective's home-brewed technique can hardly be taken as serious evidence. So, you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I'm dismayed. For the highest court in the land, we sway for this professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of the most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here? If following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in the matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately. Good. Then I shall be in a shell waiting down afternoon tea, some small conversation at least. Let us now hold Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary counsel. Proceed cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Edgar Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies, and you are? Readers cannot hold a defense lawyer. We have met! If you say so. Ashley Graydon. Enchanted. So. I trust we can conclude this quickly. Why did you toss the hat to me? But I am not holding your flashy hat while we do it. Nice blonde hair, bitch. Alright, accusation. Let's go to number 4. Tres, cuatrocito de la madre. Even if certain parties were present, they claim the blood was found at the scene. Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. But do you have an injury by any chance? By any chance, do you have an injury on your arm or something like a certain someone by any chance? But the results chemical analysis positively identifies substance as such. But I am the only human with blood running through my veins, am I? So I can be sure the blood is mine. Could equally be the blood of those two miscreants. Every individual's blood is a slightly different composition, it seems. That is true. Mr. Schultz's chemical is able to differentiate. Spare me the science lesson! Who is a Schultz character, anyway? Oh, I assume all Londoners would have known the name. He's a great, well, renowned detective. So even you were unable to bring yourself to say great detective. A great detective, you say? No, we're in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
Hey.
Oh, what do you have to say? What do you have to say?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skullkin? Eh? What? Me? No, the other! No, the Skullkin next to you. Right, I'm not up here. I gotta tell you. Yes, I know you're not Big Bruv Sulky. The other Skullkin! The greenie! Mr. Greenstash! Mr. Greenstash Skullkin! Greenies! It's Greenstash! Eh? Go blimey, governor! You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your minds? Tell me, would you care to share the thoughts of the court? Me thoughts? I don't know none of them. Must have been, huh? You what? Mr. Nash Skullkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Nothing, honest guy. Honest God, nothing. I was just thinking. What is it? I'm like much more. It opened the wound again. Oh, I have to go downstairs. That's all. What wound? What, it took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. It ain't gonna be healed up yet. Ooh, alright, hold on. I'll be right back real quick. I gotta go something. Okay, so, I'm back. Back to the bullet all these days ago. I ended up being there yet. So, as I, well, yeah, no. I was worrying for him, and oh, hell's bells! Oh, hell's bells indeed. Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? Oh, you're covering your arm, huh? Similar to Von Karma did. What is it? What is it with like Ace Attorney and just like mystery bullets that are just like in specifically in the same fucking arm, in the damn arm, always getting shot in the arm, mystery bullet. That's like 3 times. That's like 2 times already. What? Your comrade is very worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these 2 wretches are talking about. Certainly I shouldn't expect an answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone under the victim was hit by the bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. That's true. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely in the upper arm or thereabouts. Why are you covering your arm? Perhaps you'd like to allow the court official to examine your arm, sir? On the left arm, you're currently clasping your right hand as if in pain? I love how he points it out. No. I refuse. You have shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to the common thieves. According, I am not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. This isn't America. This is England. There's a difference. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all of this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where his fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense to the situation and I was in any way involved. You claim to have nothing whatsoever with Mr. Winnibank's pawnbrokery? My lord, the defense would like the last statement to be added in Mr. Graydon's final form of testimony. Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon. Alright. Statement change 5. The bottom line is I never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery establishment until the man was killed.
Hold it!
Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, or the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I'm not completely strange to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to finish my study.
Objection.
No! You were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh!
Excuse me.
Excuse me? This son of an Adam Inspector. Eh? Come again? Sunshine? You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? In the afternoon. Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbrokers that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, I recall. And at the time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article. Well, now. You're lying? I'm afraid I don't remember that too clearly. What? But you must! I'm not gonna lie and pretend I remember something that I don't. Rexy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Harley was installed in Windybanks? Yes, of course. Indeed, the gentleman pictured bears sharp resemblance to the witness, I would say. It's the same guy. Hi, Coquito. How you doing? Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon wasn't a shop in the afternoon question. Yeah, it does. At no point have I denied the fact. Hi, Mario. Hi, Cuco. I merely entered the shop to pursue the articles on sale and word with the broker. Nothing more, nothing less. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks. But Gregson? But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what had happened? Hi, Cuco. Oh, my boyo. That's all I was going to say to the matter, isn't it? What do you think, Reno? I think it's intention of telling us anything. He was right there, but the less he says, there's a chance he has to give himself away. Cop opposite Harley, then. He seems to think the more he says, the better. Well, at least I managed to precise little information on those with the slips of his Skulking brothers. Being pretty bad liars. Yes, they were educated after all. So he says nothing to Windybanks. Well, we know it's not true. Perhaps it should be a good time. To have a proper look through the camera's record. Good idea. Never know a tiny scrap of information will be a valuable weapon. So, here's what we're gonna do. Statement 5. We're gonna go back to statement 5. And we're gonna present the music box disc. This is what you were there for, wasn't it? This little thing. You were there for this old thing, right? Let's...
Objection!
Objection! Ho ho! Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Why? Is it supposed to mean something? This disc was until the day of the murder in pawn of Miss Windybank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, in the afternoon, however. Somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I've heard it numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I have never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood in the disc. Yes, resulting in conversion of the thumb, perhaps. Yes, that's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. The skirmish acquired the disc of thumb of the person who tried to take a suffered minor lacerations. And he really got injured. So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of the smear of blood, the thumb, that's a lot of blood for a thumb. The person in question must bear remnants also in the form of a scratch. Good gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Graydon, show me your thumb! You refused to be a court to examine your arm before. You're now going to refuse to examine your thumb. That's what I said. Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consisting of a smear of blood in the disc. Oh, you're wearing gloves now. Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you, so now you're wearing gloves to cover it up. What is the meaning of this? So you admit it now. You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant. Yeah, but he's covering it up. Order! Order! Well, Mr. Graydon, it would appear there is something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple. You see, the disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of a pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in the piece of evidence my learned friend established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish. Though I'm quite sure something was ever to the pawnbroker's murder. Tell me about the disc. There's a note on the disc saying from Mr. McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, the filthy glittering on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and read my article. No, you didn't. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later the same night. I think you had a reason. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist that was murdered, that died in this courtroom, who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of directly misly murder? Yes, my lord. The one and the same. Good lord, Mr. Graydon! Are you saying that McGilded and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct. Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in the courtroom again. According to what Gina told us, disc was placed in the pawn that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave him instructions to deposit in the Windybanks. It's funny how Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him, isn't it? In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared after needed Winnie Banks in order to get his hands on McGilda's disc for some reason. What reason would he have for that? Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please. Oh gee, I wonder why. Oh gee, I wonder why it really is the case. Alright, number 4. Número 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. Press! Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. This was very bad. Apparently, the police were collecting anything that was connection to Mr. McGilda as evidence.
Excuse me.
Excuse me? Huh. Is something wrong, Inspector? You're going on shady. Well, what do you mean? The last remark Mr. Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. No, it didn't. Nothing. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilda's possessions? I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine. What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets. Yes, exactly. You should know all about it. Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life, yet he had a dark side too. Yes, where are you going with this, Van Zeeks? I suppose the police were dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious acts, are they? That's enough! Coppers like me have duties to carry out when they're not at liberty and talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector. The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first! What's all this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van Zeeks here. Well, it would appear the inspector has revealed all of the liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let us return your testimony. Gladly, my lord. It's a bit suspicious, ain't he? Let's get this over. Back to our testimony. Number 5. In other words, I have no reason to break into the shop later that night. The pawnbroker. The box.
Objection.
The disc was disposited of Winnie Banks on Magnus McGilda's instructions. You knew that, and you went in with the intention of obtaining it for yourself. Conjecture again, and in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness.
I'll stay with the check. Me tiene que firmar para yo depositarlos, but I'm giving you the
Okay.
child, okay? And you just sign it, and I'll deposit it.
Okay, I'll do it later.
But that's your...
Okay. Sorry, my little friend, but that's not true.
¿Qué tú dices?
Coquito! I'll put it away later. Salud, Cuco. Salud, Mari. Who sneezed? Cuco? Oh, sneezers. There you go. Let's recover the second one. Together with your 2 accomplices, Skulkin brothers. Oh, come on, boy. A second ticket, is it? What is it, man deposited? The article description reads, 1 small box. A rather vague description, seems to me. Are you suggesting that I booked at a pawnbroker with these clowns or to steal some trinkets box? I believe there are acquainted grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. What on earth would I do such a thing? And once the article had been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. That's a good point. Indeed, but this makes a solid argument. So that means that for some reason, this Graydon needed a small box in the night, does it? It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord. Could it be a little less cryptic, Lord Van Zeeks? I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Winnie Banks' pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it. What? Actually, we can. Good gracious! Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court, if you please. Yes, sir. What prints? These prints were taken in one of Texas security cameras. Ah, Hurley red-handed recorders again. As previously explained, using the plan to shop layout. The victim established the furniture with automatic cameras to locations. One said the captured counter where Whitney begs received customers, and the other said the captured shelves articles were placed and was forfeited. According to the information on this ticket, the McGilda small box had been forfeited already. 2:40 incident, 9 p.m. on 13th of April to be precise. Which means it would have been the shelves forfeited items in the shop front. No, it would have been print taken on cameras in 2 hours before the incident. That's 11 p.m. 15th of April. Wait a minute. The victim certainly had a very, very full shop, it would appear. There's 2 music boxes if you look super closely. And then there we have another grab to look at those pictures more closely. The one was taken about 2 hours after the incident. I see. So we have 2 pictures to compare. We're gonna check those out. Alright. Though I must say, if it does have to be cold. Okay, this one's gonna be 11 p.m. and this one's 1 a.m. Barely anything has changed. If you look super closely, barely anything actually. If you look super closely, barely anything has ever changed, really. Yeah, barely anything. Except, there's nothing. There's nothing that barely changed. Nothing barely even changed here. At all. So that music box right there, that little box, and then there's 2 music boxes. There's this one, and there's this one, and there's that one over there. There's actually 3 music boxes in total in this picture. Dear me, I'm starting to get a headache. Obviously, Scotland Yard would consider theft as possible motive in this case. We explore the possibility of something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. So your men have already compared this to photograph inspectors. Yes, sir. Barely any changes. Barely anything. Count every single item in each of the photographs. There's barely any change. And the Yard's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present or above. In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbroker in the night in question. And my learned friend's assertions, nothing more than a hopeful fantasy. Gah! I don't believe it. If I could just shut and stolen McGilda's pawn box. Hey, stop dancing on me! Stop Fortnite dancing if I had been able to break him down at last. You know what, Bruno? I've been thinking. I wonder if these 2 photographs really are exactly the same. What? So, counsel, why did evidence put forward prosecution as a position? Seems that the fact that I question nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you have a prosecution assertion? I don't know. Could have had a discrepancy somewhere? So, you can choose either option 2 or 3. It doesn't really matter. You can find a discrepancy. Or choose option 3. So let's go to option 2. Point out the discrepancy. There is a small thing with the box. Actually? Yes. There is a difference. Look super closely. There's a difference. It moved! It moved. Just by a bit, it moved. There's a close discrepancy between the 2 prints. What? It moved. It shifted. It moved a little. The court, counsel. Right. If I could point it right here. Granted, these 2 pictures are identical. Almost identical. However, one minor discrepancy between them. What?! Maybe the 2 pictures stereoscopically. I can't read. It moved. Just by a bit. Just by a little bit. A single area stands a big different indication of this small box. Let's read. Wait! Unbelievable. By Jove, how extraordinary. It did move. What tells us it's very simple. McGilda's small box was indeed not stolen from the Winning Bank's night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up a particular box and returned it to its place in the shelves. Are you suggesting a small box which is deposited by Mr. McGilda is in fact? Yes, the very same small box identified in the photographic prints.
Objection.
Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So the box was moved on the shelf. Nothing was stolen. Which means, quite simply, nothing was changed. That may be true, but... Alright, McGilda's box is stolen then. But that doesn't matter, like it's changed things. It changes everything. I believe this changes everything about the case. How can that possibly be? The crucial point is that the fact that it was moved from the small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box. What are you suggesting? Hi, Google. You lick me? No. I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting in the shelves of Winnie Banks as we speak.
Objection!
That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial. You never know for sure. That very suspicious philanthropist. The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Zeeks. Bailiff, arrange the officer to go to Baker Street at once. Obtain the small box in question and bring it here for examination. Hi, booby. Oh, Google, you choked. You okay? Alright, do we get it? We should have reported it in half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short time if evidence is brought forth. To be hoodwinked with such a farce. Disappointing. I beg your pardon, Lord Van Zeeks. This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nipponese specialty, it would seem. What are you trying to say? My learned friend has persisted in the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. That is, with this intent to steal the article belonging to McGilden from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have been valuable enough to be worth stealing in the first place. Exactly! It was beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilder perished 2 months ago immediately after the conclusion of his trial. A trial which was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established that he was an upstanding member of society, reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense. The articles of this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat just happened to have a music box disc in one of his pockets and a small box. That is suspicious. I assure you wouldn't accept it even if the man tried to make a gift such things to me. I don't believe you. You know, that does make rather a lot of sense. If not gold or jewels, what goodness knows Mr. McGilder can deposit cash pawnbrokery and quite certain of that. Ugh! The Christian's agreement is undeniable compelling. It is impudent of the defense now bolster his argument. How does there find to explain what possible significance this commonplace articles pawned a fine citizen could have? Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to prove that the disc and the box are tangible and related to this case? Well, what's the matter, Bruno? We know that they're related, don't we? We both had a piece of evidence. Yes, of course, you and I both know that. We know McGilder's true character. We know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain it as according to this point, we'll have to acknowledge that Mr. McGilder's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That the defense's argument was flawed based on false information. Oh no, and that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury. But Ginny, could it be the Van Zeeks knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he's anticipated everything? But maybe, this could be a great opportunity for us. Sorry? What do you mean, Edith? Well, what I say always, Bruno. Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time. Alright, the exact significance of what the things we get the deposit with Mr. Winniebanks. Something the only Gina would explain to the court. Yeah, she knows, after all. She's the one that's been told this. They put her to stand and testify about that. Like critical damage or chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here? Have Gina testify! Even if it means perjury. My lord, the defense would make a proposal. Oh, what proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of McGilder's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand. The defendant? To what end? It's to do with the various articles deposited when he banks by Mr. McGilder, my lord. Miss Lestrade has information relating to them. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the articles in question once and for all. Well, well, things are becoming interesting. I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing, and particularly the impact it will have on the accused's standing, and indeed your own. I have. Lord Van Dijk, would you care to explain the last remark? The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal to move the interrupted cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself. Very well. If I have no objection. So, the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. You witnesses currently in the stand may step down until further notice. You don't even have a hat on. What are you doing? But I shall bid you good day. Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Miss Lestrade testifies. As you wish. Alright then, Gina. It's time. I know this will be hard, but please put your faith in me here. Good luck, Rena. Mario! Fuck off! Shut the... Mario! The articles in McGilda had deposited in Windbank's pawnbrokery are admittedly related with the omnibus case, the trial which was heard in the courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, as I remember this young lady being brought before me at trial as well. That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded. The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now here we are all again. The same players in that trial facing each other once more. Except for the 2 witnesses. A twist of 3 witnesses. Perhaps a fate. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend. Maybe. Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only a person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged, that the murder was in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body being dropped through the skylight in the carriage below. But that didn't make any sense. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under the seat of the carriage, and was helping to pick the pockets of suspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilly died in his very courtroom in the most extraordinary circumstances. A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on. And indeed does the omnibus murder itself. Be that as it may, I recall neither a disc nor the small box being mentioned in the course of these proceedings. Miss Lestrade, would you tell the court now, please, what really happened in Omnibus 2 months ago, I mean? I don't know what you mean. I already said what I want. What I want. And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Please, Miss Lestrade. It's extremely important. But... Remember, little girl. If it transpires that you withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts, you have little credibility to lose. Ginny, don't listen to him. Please, you have to trust Reno now. Elise? We're on your side. Alright then. I'll talk. It's the right choice, Gina. Well, it would seem that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it. I must confess I'm struggling to understand what is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGillis pawned article's extraordinary case of the omnibus, harbor secrets of which it had been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, would you now give your testimony before the court of the events 2 months ago? Will you reveal the truth? The comedy is sorely lacking in the original statements. This is it then. Everything is going to come out. Like Van Zeke said. This could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears, but as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk. That's every statement, and that's it. You're done. Truth is, the Brickmaker Cove was the cabin of the minibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out under the seat, I saw the disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from me over there, and a pair of the roof deck went up the gorgeous slopes. That's when McGildy slipped the driver something to do a run the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to know about what he's seen or heard. Good grief, this is outrageous! What you just told the court, almost nowhere but that was your original testimony 2 months ago. As you say, my lord. Then there's a chance. I may have adjusted error in McGildy's trial. It sounded very much to me as a man deliberately deceived his court, in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in his courtroom 2 months ago. The actions of the accused in the trial of this witness and my learned friend are entirely inexcusable. I don't believe it. The whole trial was a farce? It was all lies? The McGildy fellow was wrong to the core, just like the pickpocket. Don't forget the lawyer from the east. They were all in it together. You're wrong, and the lot of you. Mr. Nadaoda, the lawyer there, he didn't know nothing about it. Humbug! I don't think so. But I really expected to believe that. He really snitched on everyone, didn't he? What an operation, the man scot-free. Unforgivable. Stop. The lies have to stop. Stop. Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it is imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of McGildy's pawned articles must be brought to light. Very well, my learned student friends. Given the depths of the calamity you just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing. Well, words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Nadahodo? Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. Blimey, Mr. Nadahodo. Now, counsel, proceed to cross-examination. Press every statement, that's it. You're done. So we unintentionally went into that. Press any statement you want. So press any fucking statement you want.
Hold it!
Just press any. And you were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Miss Asheley? If I remember rightly, there's a storage compartment underneath one of the seats. Yeah, that's right. The pitch black under the bed. You can't see nothing of it. What's going on over here with these two? They're talking.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, what are you two doing? Stop talking! There's something I'd like to share to the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon. What you doing? Inspector! Mr. Graydon! What? Blimey, you're trying to give me a heart attack? You have been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is this discussion about? Discussion? With this fella? I'll pull another one, sunshine. You think I got anything to talk with Shady Jen like this? I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective, depriving the disc of his rightfully mine. But they've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating. Okay, now we can do a fool. You can't refrain from talking amongst yourself. The witness giving testimony. Yes, sorry, my lord. What were those two talking about? Miss Asheley, continue with your testimony, please. Alright, let's go. So now we get to press every statement. So now let's go ahead so she can tell us everything that happened.
Hold it!
And you were hiding in the cabin at the time. So now let's hear the full. Let's press every single statement, and then we get the full story. That's right, speech black under the so you can't see nothing at all. Now, testimony 2 months ago. I feel sorry you claimed Miss McGildy was a sole passenger, did you not? False testimony, my lord. That's what he told me to say. I had to say, but it's important you tell us the truth now. Were McGildy and the victim acquaintances? I don't know, but I did hear them talking a lot. What were they talking about? Well, I couldn't hear it too well, but if I had to say, a negotiation. I think it was about money or something. They kept talking about buying and not buying. Perhaps business dealings of some kind. But he was a poor guy, wasn't he? Well, anyway, the victim, they got louder and louder. It sounded like a proper fight. Oh, no! It was pretty scattered by then. I hardly dared to breathe, and then all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone kneeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all. and I believe he let out an involuntary scream. That part's true. Yeah, that's what gave me away. So let's hear the full story. Now we press every statement and let's hear it. Was the disc you saw this disc? Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor. Could his disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps? I don't know, but McGilda picked it up pretty smartish. And then he's out of the cove with the knife and his belly up in the seat. What did he say to you at the time? He told me not to say a word of what I've seen or what I heard to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared the way he was looking at me. I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'd get stuck with that knife too. Then he started asking me a lot of questions. Like what my name was and where I lived at. He asked me about being a diver too. But after a while, what happened to the carriage was noticed. Yeah, that's right. First said it was a kind of rapping noise. Alright, let's see. There was 2 gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe. Mr. First and Mr. Fairplay. That's right. Yeah, these 2. They must be looked down in the skylight and noticed the cove with the knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver pulled up and orders and the got me out of sight. Out of sight? Where? Back under the sea when I started off. Once the carriage came to an halt, the 2 called from the roof and out to fetch the slops. They immediately left to fetch the police. It would appear that they were entirely related to the incident. So that left McGilda, the driver, and you still at the scene. Driver, yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open with a voice from outside. The driver, yes, he will testify to the trial, I believe. Yes, this guy. A fellow who went by the name of Beepo, if memory serves. The guy that's always cold. What did McGilda say the driver say to each other? I don't know what happened and stuff like that, mainly. So I gave the full story of him being a piece of shit. That pawn shop obviously being Willie Banks on Baker Street. Just a moment, counsel. Do you mean to tell me that the driver gave false testimony in the trial as well? Yes! Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbroker slipped his mind when he was in the stand. Indeed, Lord Van Zeeks. McGilda took off a coat to give it to the driver. He folded it up and all carefully like before and handed it over. When I saw him doing that, I remember thinking, the coat, what's it got to be worth a few bob? Yes, Gina was sure that this must be worth more than Mr. Bick was suggesting, wasn't she? If I remember her quibbling with him over the price after the pawnbrokery. The driver looked up pretty happy when McGilda flashed some brass in his face. He went running off to the lake. Then the bog doctor called me and told me to come out to the drag's cabin. Final one? For me not to snitch. Alright. Threaten you? How exactly? Told me I'm only be able to scrape it if I did exactly what he said. Which is included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago. Yeah, that's it. And there was one other thing he said. Which was? He told me that I have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it. The ticket? Well, I never. I said that I didn't show up to get the ticket off him before 2 months passed. And I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in the log. Keep it at the pawn shop to pay the money to keep the log, stop it being forfeited. And left me with some brass to pay for it. But really? Why on earth would Mr. McGilda have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with a pawnbroker before the arrival of the police. It makes no sense at all. There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. It's filled with blood. McGilda was the driver to deposit the Windy Banks. Something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs. Anyway, after that, he let me go, so I legged it before the coppers showed up. So that's the full case in its full glory. Thank you, Mrs. Trade. Thank you, counsel. I've heard enough. I believe now the reasonable understanding was actually transparent by omnibus. God damn! It would appear that on night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place in the omnibus. Negotiation concerning the disc. However, matters did not run smoothly, and when the parties involved began quarrel over the price, McGilda took what he wanted to buy by force, and by the expenses of the other man's life. Which proves my point. The disc is clearly extremely valuable in some way, although I don't understand why as of yet. And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilda's coat with its contents were due to be forfeited. I don't know what I would do with that ticket. I mean, the cove died right there at the trial. I knew that. So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own. Well, why not, eh? They were gonna be forfeited. Why not? I think I got him. Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about that. Thinking ain't no crime. Missiles trade. It would appear that Mr. McGill was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be? Eh? I ain't got the clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. It probably was gonna sell it. And you can blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime. My lord! The evidence your lordship requested has been located and is ready to court's inspection, sir. Oh, shit! We ready! Ready for the damn music box! We ready for that shit. Ready for that stupid box. We are ready. That box is gonna be the death of us. We are so ready for that box. Mysterious little box deposited in the guild 2 months ago. Let's go. There's no doubt in my mind. It's a key piece of this far-reaching puzzle. All right, let's do the fourth part. Let's do the final part of the trial. Here we go. That's the box. So this is the article in question, is it? A small box deposited at the pawnbroker by Mr. Guild 2 months ago, and it's on the night of Mr. Whittimake's murder. The only item in the shelves that was touched by the waves were broken to the shop. Quick! Let's open it and see what's inside. It's a music box. It is a music box. Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems. Wow, although in truth, it had inkling it might be the case. It would appear to be a box that houses a miniature music box movement. Then, this is too much expected. I think it would be reasonable to assume that's the device playback disc, my lord. See what it is! It's this little fucking box. So, this gives means to play back Mr. McGill's disc deposit and Winniebake's watch at the same time. Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilda's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus. But why, for heaven's sake, are we to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell his music box discs to Mr. McGilded? I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, Miss my lord. If it is music at all. Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to the curious disc at last. So I'm gonna go and turn up the volume once we have the disc up, and then I'll turn it back down again, alright? What?! Wait, oh, my lord! Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector? The music box in that disc are... Well, I'm late to the case! No, he just blood the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with a silly bit of music. Damn it! This motivated the culprit in the case to commit murder. Clearly, there's a chance it's fundamental important to understanding what happened. Prosecution, no objection. But no! That piece of evidence is police property now. You can't just... Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here, but it is the policy of the prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Yeah! Well, so do that shit! No further delays, please. Play that disc! I'm gonna turn the volume. Here we go. What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in an irregular sequence. Mr. Graydon? This really is priceless. After all that, the music box is broken. Broken? It can't be. Can it? No, it's not. It can't. No. Well, obviously, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised. An officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom. But what should regret? I feel like the court must accept the music box offers a little way of clues. But wait. Alright, move on, counsel. Come on! Yes, alright. Sounds like this is completely broken, but is it? Could it music be a clue? It could be a clue. Because it's not music at all. We know that for a fact. My lord. Good lord, but how can it be? The abomination council, mere noise. I fail to see how it could have meaning whatsoever. It does sound strange, I agree, but there's one thing that's bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, and the inspector beside him has rather telling expression on his face, as the aggressive recognizes the sound as if he's familiar with it somehow, and that's making him appear extremely on edge. If that's the stance of the defense of my Nipponese friend, answer me this. Oh. Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on his case? It's the defensibility of the sound emanating. From the music box. It's not supposed to be music. You know what it is? Just because it's music box doesn't necessarily mean the sound we're hearing are music. Morse code! Look at that smile vanish from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be. Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting like Hurley, Reno.
Objection!
The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, not if you tell us when they are not. I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Well, surely you have the idea in mind, because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument. Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Reason to accept that fact is pure foolishness. It ain't broken. They've got me. I don't know what the answer is yet. Reno? I just examined the music box very thoroughly, and I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Really? Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway. Thank you, Iris. So it's not broken at all. So it's meant to do that. Boys. Alright, well the music box isn't broken. It must mean the sound is producing some significance is musical. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Something's just struck me, Reno. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like this the music box makes. Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, it is. I was just thinking exactly the same thing. I'm going to have to press the defense for answers to your assertions that produced by music. This fact that music at all was the devil is it anyway, counsel. All evidence has been so far as testimony we've heard. There's point only a single answer now. The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now. That proof is well speculation. Alright, this could be the best chance to get to it. If I'm right, I'm going to put dots together. The newspaper!
Take that!
Today's paper council. The headline is Pawnbroker perishes supporting the cause. No, my lord. We need to look a little further down the page. Further down. Mystery mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter. Investigated at the highest level, I understand. I have heard that international transmissions along with supposed security lines are being intercepted and linked to the various other countries. And presumably, those transmissions are for the form of wired telegrams? Of course. Drawer number 5, your input, please. Stop. Oh! Me, sir. Whatever is the matter. You told me before that you started working at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. The particular station where you work. Details what deal with government communications and newspaper reports. Oh yes, we're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? Hmm? You don't mean to say it is Morse code. That's right, madam. There's more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegram machine that you tap. I believe it's called Morse code. But I don't believe it! Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, that could have been more perfectly placed in a highly skilled communications officer? Are you suggesting that music box disc contains stolen government secrets and Morse code? Order, please everyone, order! But this is This is High Treason Council! Deserving a capital punishment! Too much new vocabulary. What is treason? It's capital punishment. The sorts of words I have you expected to know. I'm sorry, government's confidential information. Hostile nations would certainly pay for almost any price! Yes, and on the night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that were taking place inside the omnibus! Oh my god! But in the end, the guild had perished, and all important disc lay unclaimed in a pawnbrokery. Holy fuck! My word! In which case, whoever stole the information in the first place must be surely beside himself with worry, because the disc were to be discovered before it found its way into the country. It would reveal the act of high treason punishable by death! Holy crap! We're going to government secrets, man. Tight shit. So culprit had the choice to retrieve it. In order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind in Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got in the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? Oh, yeah, he's shitting his pants. You think I've been stealing government secrets? Yes. Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. It ain't. So in response to the defense's accusation, you claim to complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do. I have to stand here in silence while the prestigious foreign lawyers has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then, by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witnesses remain in the crime under scrutiny. The trial is murder of pawnbroker Mr. Winningbank, that being most flagrant offense, but which the law, the land sanctions capital punishment, but the heinous act of high treason is no less a serious crime. Order to bear that in mind and testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let's proceed. You may... What? You gotta let us have a rap at the border, governor. We got things to say. I beg your pardon. Who do you think you are? I am Slash Skolkin, occupation's professional body. Name's Ringo Skolkin, but we ain't baddies enough to send out and move the land. That's right, we're what they call the 3 Skolkin brothers. Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. The classic. Alright. Graydon's counter. See what you have to say. I'm your communications officer. Couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Yes, you can. Besides, the sounds produced by the music box aren't even Morse code. They could be. Maybe they're one part of Morse code, but the other part is hidden away. And some of the class brickmaker negotiation with McGilded anyway. Was it not? And in relation to that man. It kind of looks like you, actually. Now that I think about it. Oh, if we can find him. No, he's not here. He's in the, Damn it! Okay, so let's go to the blood samples. He should be there. His portfolio. Yep, he kind of looks like you a little. I don't know. Maybe his family. Maybe his family. Look, all we done is break into the gaffle the other night like we were told not to do. If we'd known that it was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't even have touched it. We wouldn't have touched it. Oh. Oh. Mr. and Mr. Skulky. Oh, one Mr. Door, Governor, what's up? Do you take it that you just admitted to the crime? That on the night in question, you did indeed get entry to the premises illegally. And however, you did it as a party of 3 in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here. You kinda did admit that, though. We did, Gob. We did. Quiet down, please. Would you say to that, Mr. Graydon? Oh, sweet God. I have no idea what these 2 ruffians are referring to. You little ratter, getting us mixed up in all this monkey business. You're never involved in government secrets. It was supposed to be straight up job. And what about the geezer whose shop was it was, eh? The poor bloke didn't even have to die, did he? To know who your friends are. Bro, whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. That's so funny. Oh my God. That's who know who your friends are. Indeed. Come here, Mario. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant to the proceedings. My first time, I was like, holy shit. I was admitted to the court record as evidence. I was like in complete shock, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, God, damn, Kermit's secrets? Dude, we're going crazy. Cross-examination, let's go. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out our music box. Check the music box. Go in the bottom. There's a little button here. Check this real quick. Oh, what is it right now? I see in the little music box. It's like bottom as well. Mario, come here. Oh, you're right. Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Let's open it. Alright then. Here goes. Oh, look at that. There's another movement on the inside. So does that mean you can set another disc to play on the inside? Yes, I think so. Like two movements are linked together. They're linked. So you got two discs. You can play both at the same time. There's another disc. What if I did inside a movement like this another comb? So for singing single tone in the other, yes, it must do. Except the length of the two combs is the same. Oh yeah, I can tell. It will be different in single tone we've already heard. What? Basically, each movement can only produce a single tone, but the they produce are different. Music box are gonna play two tones. And then this is the one that's inside, and then the other is not. Okay, so that's gonna be important. That's gonna be important.
Hold it!
Press. So this is newspaper headline accurate. Government communications are being intercepted. How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? And important government communications are handled by high-level officers by specialists, general members of the staff station where I work and they're entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no, stop! You must say something, stop! Let me guess. Juror number 5. We regular communication station officers aren't as lowly as you'd like to believe. As a team is responsible for setting up the testing telegrams used by the ministry. And Graydon is the team leader. That's fascinating! Oh, you got snitched. Graydon is highly skilled operators, stop. Currently in process of idle, stop. So he had access to equipment used for the confidential communications, Mr. Graydon. What of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors and can't be heard. And in the case all the messages are sent enciphered, normal employees can even possibly understand them. Oh no, stop. Must say something, stop. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with the ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists in ensuring that there are no errors in important international communications. He has received the top prize at the Cipher Cracking Convention 5 years in a row now. That's fascinating. You're getting fucked. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently presence of idol. Stop. Well, your idol would appreciate it if you keep your mouth shut. She should really pick her idols more carefully. I tell you, the lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded. Now, number 2. Besides, it sounds more producer aren't even Morse code. Are you sure about that? They're not. To anyone with a brain, that would blatantly apparent that's listening to the music box even a few seconds. Of course. Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code. Ouch, he looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance. Ha 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 ha. It would be more than happy to demonstrate the basics to you, sir. A lesson? Here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of the 2 distinct tones. Yes, tones, you say. Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining these in different ways, you construct letters. I see. For example, this is A. And this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But it sounds so similar! The rhythm is the same and everything! But there's no discernible meaning in the apparently random sequence of notes. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code. No! Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? This box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap! Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspirations of the future. Ugh, stop! Nothing to say, but stop! Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it? Government secrets were somehow being linked by using the music box. So many other things would slot into place so nicely. Could it be something else considered? Or whatever is using possible music box. Give it a try. There's still every possibility this music box is eventually leaking government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least. Maybe it's Japanese Morse code? Does it please you in some way my Nipponese friend to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? has already been established to be Morse code. 2 tones are required. That's ambitious. But if it's a different language Morse code, there's different languages for Morse code. It's not just English, there's multiple different typings. I'm aware of that. Then what? It appeared the defense hypothesis look forward. You had the President Idea Council. I proposed move the function to appear a single tone could have used cipher versus code. So, let's go here, open this box. Since we already saw it before, open the button. And then? And that's how the second one would be produced. Yeah, here we go.
Got it!
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement to the underside of the music box? What? It appears, my lord, that the 2 movements are linked together. In other words, you can put 2 discs in the music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the court has just heard, Morse code comprises of 2 tones, a short dot and a long dash. If you see a second disc in place, the music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message. Greg says shitting in his pants right now. I'm gonna bet. This is beyond the joke. I'm sorry. This poor excuse of a lawyer. I have absolutely no evidence to support his claims. Though, of course, if I may learn friend, we're able to present the court of second disc would be another matter. Well, I can't at the moment. And I may remind the court that the witness has pointed out he has not his omnibus gilded 2 months ago, striking a deal over the disc or discs. Indeed, that is Mr. Mason, a brickmaker. Exactly! I had nothing whatsoever to do with it! But do you really? I think you do. I'm calling bullshit. I think you do. I can see through it. Though it has holes, most of the argument presents by the defense is much to promise. I believe prosecution should continue. The link between Graydon and the victim and omnibus is more in there, but I haven't found it yet. Oh dear. Looks like you've given your argument more strength now. You go over with your testimony, if you please, Mr. Graydon. I must still maintain what's exactly the state's point of discrimination. It was some low-class brickmaker negotiating together what in relation to that man. So, let's go with number 4. Look how you're done is breaking happening one night with a door esto. So, press on it.
Hold it!
Like Mr. Graydon told you, what do you mean? That's it, yeah. Where's it? Silly me, thought he was just popping over for the natter after all them years, but the road to a dodgy job for us. Hey, Ash! Let me stop you there, Mr. Skullkid. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours? What an sociable kind of body, you know? Sure, let's say Graydon's North China.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, Ringo. Is something wrong, Mr. Skullkin? Eh? No, the other Mr. Skullkin. What? Ooh, me. When your brother was testifying just now, he said something he seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh together way back when. Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean? Yeah, with Ash. I mean, look at him, just a fancy wizard in the flute, you ain't the Madam and Eve it. But when he was younger, he was a poor part of the town just like us. He was poor, is that so? But we was always a leery one. You had the brazy, and we had the savvy. Always coming up with smart ideas like what we'd never have gone through with our heads. God blind, ain't that true? Remember Milverton and Scorkins Migran? That was a crocker, eh? Milverton? Save it until after the trial. You remember this thing has no place in the courtroom. And neither does your fruit. Oi, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And was he answering? Yeah, we did nothing wrong. Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany the trip down memory lane. Counsel, can you please turn to back testimony, please? I don't know. Consistent postal authorities fairly somehow? Added to testimony. I do believe that. I believe it'll be important to the connection. My lord? Yes, counsel. I believe in importance. The brother's last mental statement could be whole vital information regarding this case. Very well, counsel. I'll permit the brother to supplement the testimony with that detail. Briefly has to add. Say no more. The skulk is never a skulkin. Alright. So now, let's go to the new statement. Never done a skulkin's milk run. Go to one of the days. So, let's press new statement.
Hold it!
The business name. I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business? Just a little scheme what I had going back when we was youngsters. A bit of fun, really. The living that I should make in the locals, that's what it was all about. That sounds utterly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask to elaborate, but on what? The business name. Milverton. Who's Milverton? So this business is just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourselves, Mr. Graydon, involved. Yeah, that's it. Milverton Skulkin's Milk Run, was it? Yeah, that's it. And where did the Milverton part come from? Oh, I thought a clever clogs like you would have worked that one out. Yeah, this... Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this drivel?
Objection.
I don't... But what's your real name? Let me guess, you don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying. Tell me, why is it as only the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject? Because well... What are the appiest homes who came from? Yeah, the old man is struggling for the money so much, he's walked out of him. I love how I just realized something. I just realized, look, the pear and apple just come back. They bite into it, it's just infinite. It's an infinite apple and an infinite pear. I just realized that. That is so funny. Oh my god. Should name Graydon, I see. To Ash will always be better than to us. Milverton. So he took his wife's name. That's kind of odd. So that used to be your surname, did it? Of course not. This is all buckhum. I've been a Graydon since I was born. Nah. That's your ex-wife's. I usually never see males. It's always the female. It's always the wife taking the guy's name, not the husband taking the wife's name. It's really weird. It's really odd, but it does happen. It's really odd. These two thieves, You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter, indeed, to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon. Well, it would appear that Mr. Skulky's testimony has been reliable, for once. You're born Asheley Milverton, then. Is that correct? You're lying about your whole name? Very well. Yes! So Asheley Graydon was once Asheley Milverton. That information could change things when we turn in. Asheley Graydon's personal profile has been updated. All of a sudden, things put an X in a serious matter of national security. Although I put a talking of secret government messages still conjure on the stage. It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard an omnibus 2 months ago in the break-in in Windy Banks. It would explain a few things. But the trouble is, it was Mr. Graydon and the omnibus and guilty. No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker who was horribly murdered. Probably was linked between the two men somehow. I know, but Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key was making headway to cross-examination here. Could be these two brothers. Wreckage officer could possibly steal confidential information. So now, let's go statement number 3. Is some low-class brickmaker negotiating with McGill anyway in relation to this man? Let's go to the McGilded case notes, shall we? Because remember we saw a name called Milverton. There we go. Yep. Now let's show this baby up. Shall we? Objection! Mr. Ashley Milverton, tell me, why did you try to hide your former name from the court? Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name. Explain yourself, please, counsel. I have here the notes from my omnibus case, my lord. As we all know, the victim, the man we know understands, has been negotiating with, we killed it. Yes, Mr. Mason, the bookmaker. That's right. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was a given name. His surname, his full name, was Mason Milverton. Milverton? Do you mean to say, Saints alive! That's his son, Mr. Ashley Milverton. Is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father? You do look alike. I don't. You do have the same hair color, though, so honestly, it was pretty obvious. I don't. As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you join the civil service, and it really wouldn't make the time at all to court to subpoena those records. The truth is, you're illegally requiring highly confidential government information. And selling it to McGilda to collaborate with your father. Yeah! Oh. Oh yeah, everybody's coming together. The effects of the evidence unravel the cross-examination's witness. All come together to reveal the truth. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded. Back into this music box, you mean, counsel? Yes, stealing information, being sent in secret government communications, and selling it to McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted an elaborate scheme of using 2 music box discs to encode the information. As presumably a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands. And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme any credits whatsoever. But the deal with McGilded went sour, and the brickmaker met his end. Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc of the pawnbroker. Then, having learned the situation, you appeared to the Winnie Banks 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in the pawn there. Ooh! Let me eat my flan, but the attempt failed. And the disc were seized to the police, and the other was found. Within a minute, we listened to help us go came brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc. Were you suggesting the second disc was inside of the music box? Yes. Eh? We never knew nothing about that! But the night of Mr. Winbank was killed. Flan is good. Yeah, bueno. Yeah, I'm good. Flan. Alright, we're good. There we go. I had to eat a little bit of it. The intruder at the pawnbroker touched one item, and one item alone. The music box. Just a little bit here. A rather ingeniously demonstrated using 2 prints of the security camera. Indeed. So, the question that naturally begs answering is this. Why was only one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny that all this actually began on the fateful night 2 months ago? I refuse to accept any of this nonsense! Wait. There's blood on your arm? There's blood on the arm? Everybody noticed. Sir, your wound is bleeding. There appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. What? Oh! 2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime at Winnie Bank's pawnbrokery. 1 at him, and the pawnbroker herself. Shot Mr. Sholmes, 1 struck the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And finally, final bullet hit his arm. Struck the calendar at the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Being him, Mr. Graydon, that wound in your arm you seem to be trying to hide is the bullet wound, isn't it? And it's bleeding. Real bad. He's got you now, mi old China. Tanto con el quiz and croak, I reckon. Don't ignore my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember? And I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly I was a fool to think I could trust to come back some thieves. What? Fine, I admit it. I was there in Winnie Banks that night. I paid the pair 10 guineas to accompany me. 10 guineas? And as you noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. Come here, Mario. Come here, boy. But that is all. I admit nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with McGilded. You're out of your mind. Oh, let me. There we go. Yes, bleeding pretty bad. As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort. It's not gonna go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is, Well, we know that one bullet was fired from each of the two firearms as evidence. But what if there's a third? The Skull Brother's gun hit the pouch around Mr. Schoen's waist. The Skull Brother's gun. And the bullet from Mr. Whittingbank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon in the arm. But what about the final bullet? There was the possibility the man shot himself. And that would lead us to the only conclusion. That Mr. Whittingbank was shot by a third gun. Third bullet. Which can only have been fired by a third intruder. Good goodness! Hi, Mario, come here. That's right, Mr. Graydon. Here, telling me. The only person who could have possibly have shot Mr. Whittingbank that night is you!
Hold it!
Oh. You little upstart. You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here. What? What's this supposed to mean? As you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. Dead best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of running the squishy career I'd built for myself in a communication station. But it did fly across your mind that you never considered a possibility. Mario, come here, boy. Come here. What do you mean? What possibility? The possibility that if I was there in the scene, I may have witnessed a crucial moment. You see. Oh my god, fuck you. This makes me a key witness in this case. And I have hands firmly around the neck of your client. What? Are you suggesting? I saw it all. I saw the very moment that the pickpocket girl pointed the gun at the door defenses. Pawnbroker just shot him. The poor innocent. What? What is going on here? Odd! Well, it would seem they're finally entering the final act of the last theatrical trial. Mr. Graydon. Yes. I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. This has shown that your claim is false. You will have incriminated yourself as a killer. I understand fully. Please give your informal testimony once more. You will explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. Come on, Mario. I'm gonna shoot him. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance of the shop. When Whittingbank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I persuaded the man he shut himself in the storeroom I could see under the peephole in the door, though. The accused in black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. But wait, I saw the blood splatter all over the wretched girl. But wait, there's some consistencies in here already. But she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. What the fuck was that? Good gracious, this is quite a extraordinary testimony. Stop with that smug little face on your... Stop the little smug smile on your face, fucker, and tell me the truth. That is a lie. You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger? Bullshit. Odd. It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. You little smug fuck. But it was my intention to found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. You committed a murder. So you see, my hands have been forced to tell the truth now in act of self-preservation. The truth. Until now, the prosecution is completely unaware of these details. Yes, sorry about that. Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was shot in the back by the accused. No, that's wrong. And as I said, she was showered in his blood. No! You say the blood splattered over the accused's coat. Are you sure on that point? No, there was no case of that at all. No way. That didn't happen. It is splatter on her. Rather, it split on the floor. Oh yes, quite sure all over the black overcoat the pickpocket was wearing at the time. Really? But wait, the overcoat showed harbor vestiges of blood. That's conclusive evidence here. It has Mason's blood on it. Such is investigation entirely possible, my lord. What? Oh god. Unavailably recently, a German scientist developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's the true science house amateur detective's dubious foray in the world of chemistry. There's nothing dubious of Hurley's work. His ideas are almost sound. Ideas are not used here in science as in laws. Theories provided where they stand. In Germany, the tech has already been employed in the courtroom as basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemical Regan to use with prevention. It has blood on it, but it's not the kind that we see. Please get our vengeance of doubt within minutes. This doesn't look good, Bruno. Why not? Well, we know, don't we? There's blood all over the front of Jean's coat. But it's not the blood. They tested their chemicals. Oh, help your Riles forgetting what happened yesterday. Don't move, Ginny. I'm going to shoot. There is blood on it, but it's not the kind of blood that... But that's not Mr. Windybank's blood, the stain from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood, and as he was stabbed by McGilda, he was wearing the coat at the time. My lord, the defense objects to test proposal in prosecution. Overruled. Lord Van Zeeks, make it so at once. With pleasure, my lord. While awaiting the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. I find the blood in overcoat. Gina will be... Cancel! Yes, my lord! Your cross-examination. Of course, my lord. Cross-examination doesn't go well. If I don't manage to recover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I'll have a very bad feeling I'll come of this trial. Yeah, there's a few inconsistencies in here. Let's press every single statement.
Hold it!
Mr. Windybank emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. Here I had a recovered hand. Fortunately, it was close. I've never been so scared in all of my life. But yeah, we're just here running in a mild-mannered burglars. That's all. We don't like violence. Says the pair who carry a gun. What did you mean when you say you were near the entrance of the shop? I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves and forfeited items. Looking for the music box, of course. The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1, so I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help me little brother, but the old geezer chucked me over the blooming counter. So I pulled my gun at the old fella, and all the soul made him scrap it. The pair of you sitting upon a poor defenseless pawnbroker together, shame on you! Sorry, God. When Windybank threw Nash over the counter, I felt like a sharp pain in my arm.
Hold it!
That was Ringo! You mean the moment you were shot? Yes, thought I didn't immediately realize what happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor and the counter as 3 men were brawling. That was exactly the moment it happened, sitting here to get shot. And the bullet went strike the counter and the wall behind you. So it would appear. I looked at the arm, see it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped a handkerchief around it. Seeing I couldn't explain it, it happened to the doctor. I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would be bleeding 2 days later. Did Mr. Windybank intend to shoot you, did you think? Well, now I don't imagine they ever noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home. When I pulled my gun on him, I tried to shove him out the way. And then I scrapped it and threw the door out back. At which point, you did too.
Hold it!
You mean you chased after him? I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him in the back of the shop. And what about the peephole in the door you've mentioned? Peephole in the door! Well, surprisingly, the storeroom door is a solid job, made of stout wood. But that peephole wasn't there before! The small opening into the head heights is on the side. Actually, I should know, shouldn't I? I looked into it myself that night. But wait, that peephole... And what about your burgling brothers? Did you see what went through this peephole as well? Not likely, God. Wait to see nothing of the sort of guy. I doubt these 2 buffoons are aware of the people's existence. So the Skulking brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Windybank take place. Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and the young girl standing there. The defendant. Yes, though neither of them noticed where I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed straight at the man. Then, what did you see next? There's inconsistencies a lot in this. The hell. The accused in the black coat shot the man in the back. He was trying to flee to safety. The other way around, rather. Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found guilty gun in her hand, but when Mr. Windybank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we have already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you! But no. It wasn't the broker's gun that pickpocket girl had saw her. Yes, the bullet from Windybank's gun grazed my arm. And yes, the Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this is another gun entirely. A third gun. I knew it! But the broker's gun was not a murder weapon, so clearly there had been a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have held her own gun.
Objection!
There's no way, she doesn't own guns. But no other gun was found at the scene. Calm yourself, counsel. Sorry. You must consider the events in order. At first I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other, but then all of a sudden, the broker turned to run, and it was that moment the little gutter rat shot him in the back. A chilling image, I must say.
Hold it!
Are you sure about that? All over her? Yes, throughout the peephole, I saw clearly. But wait, there's a huge flaw. That peephole was not there before. Oh, let me go ahead and check this out real quick. Thank God I have this feature. Thank God I had this turned on. Thank God the Switch has this. It wasn't there before. After? There it is. It didn't exist! That people didn't fucking exist! But the people I saw clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible now, but with the code being such a dark color. But didn't exist! But I assure you, the garment is soiled with the victim's blood. Wow, soiled with blood, that's for sure. But it's not Mr. Windybank's blood, is it? No, that's not right. It's Mr. Mason's blood from when McGill stabbed him 2 months ago. It's so annoying. If they only accept Rose chemical analysis, we could prove that. But they won't, so unfortunately we can't use the evidence to support our case. Water.
Hold it!
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room. That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Where it was exactly in the direction of the storeroom door is where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the peephole onto the floor on the side of the door. But why would she do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps I was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was wondering about leaving it here in case the tragedy took place. So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime. Yes, it was yours truly. I'll have to clear up the lackeys that left. Clear up? We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistleman flew there and told us to tidy up. He fixes that blooming mom sometimes. Well, I was sparing you enough, my God. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbroker that night, was it by any chance with a second disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
You're likely a fool. What? What is going on over here? Okay. Excuse me, what's going on over here? Why are you assaulting the witness?
Excuse me!
Why are you attacking the witness? Gentlemen? Oh, sweet God. What happened? Something wrong, Sunshine? You attacked the fucking witness! That should be my line! You do realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin? Blimey, this dude's a bit of an hooligan, ain't he? What was going on just now? You saw me grab me with why the blazes, he said. Didn't you mention the gun when we got down the station? And why didn't you? Cause we didn't know nothing about it or the flaming people in the door. Sorry about that. I'm probably losing my rag sometimes. Not her, are you? Oh my God. Oh, blimey. See that way it's looking at me? I'm telling you. This gives me the wheelies. Oh. That was strange. Yeah, that was. Spectre doesn't normally get quite worked up as he normally grabs someone. No, that wasn't like Crixie at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him. Yes, well, I think he might be special case. Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. Yeah, it was. Even for us, it was definitely out of character. He normally never does that. That was weird. He's like, oh shit, I'm terrified. My lord. Oh no. Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. I had the results of the test as ordered earlier, my lord. Oh, fuck. The blood on the accused's overcoat. Oh, fuck. Oh, we are so screwed. They are screwed. I presume you have no objection, counsel. No, my lord. I don't. Oh, sweet God. Alright, what's the analysis? Well, there you have it. What? The report, please, Inspector. Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of defendant Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were results of splattering following a gunshot wound. End of report. Oh, you fucking piece of shit! What did I tell you? Oh, no, the blood on overcoat is now Mr. Windy Banks. I wonder what makes you say that, counsel. The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was disposited of Windy Banks, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on the overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker of the omnibus case! Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend? Go ahead and tell that to the Fae clan and come back to me later. Sorry? Tell that come back to me later on that. 2 months ago in this very courtroom. Did you not argue firmly McGild's innocence? And yet now the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer. I do, because we found out the truth. Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country. Ah! But that was! I call it bally, disgrace, treachery, that's what it is. How do I determine whether the blood of Dover is 2 months old or not? The stereoscope's gonna help the answer to on that. It can't be done. Well, technically you can. With the coloring. Well, technically figuring out the color of a blood stain actually is possible. Like, for example, if it's like much lighter then it's newer, but if it's like more dried up, like it's like brownish and it's more like older, that's what you can tell. We use Mr. Scholl's specialty formula chemicals. Mr. Scholl's a detective, not a chemicus! When you put such faith in chemical formula device for me, for example, I'm a chemicus officer. I held up precocious starving boy and ran away crying. What does this have to do with anything? Sherlock Sholmes is barely more than a victim in the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all. How could you say that? Oh, victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish. How do you arrive at your conclusions, sir? As the witness said, the accused's overcoat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could possibly have known the fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, this testimony is solid, the conclusion is singular. As the accused was shot in the victim's case, that is the whole truth. Yeah! Oh, sweet mother of God. My lord! Been a long battle, this one, but this old warehouse, something is over, please. Mr. Foreman? Oh, no. At this moment, sir, the squad has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now. Oh. Sir!
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, come on! Oh, fuck all of you. Dude, this courtroom's gonna kill me, I swear to God. Well, it would appear that ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached the numbers verdict. Oh. The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness testimonies. Here's to any attempt you may have on unpicking the juror's decision being equally successful. Oh, I don't believe it. After I've come so far. How is this unraveling to me so fast? How very distressing to be held in such low self-esteem. Wait, who? When do you agree, Mr. Nadahodo? Officer? You delivered the report now. That'll be all, thank you. It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Nadahodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? Yo! Mr. Schultz! What is the meaning of this? Oh my God, this mad lad. Look at him go, son. Oh. business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in the hospital. As well as it would be, I did not set upon an errand. What errand? Hurley, it's really you? You're awake at last? Yes, good day it is. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you humor me. God damn! What's the manners? I have something of a great importance to wish to give to the young lawyer over there. I need more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare me the time? You say it doesn't get 6. Traveling taking hours to court's time. I've spent so long already. Exactly! I've spent so long already, we don't want to get more precious time! As I was saying, having spent so long time already would have cherished and denied the defense of mere 5 minutes. Very well then. Counsel, you have 5 minutes. Oh, sweet God. My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival. Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now? Alright, am I wrong? Sorry? I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man. I've asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even the man proved too much for me. Pray forgiveness should I pass out. Let's make the discussion as short as possible. Hurley, this place is full of idiots. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical bill analysis is. Ah, well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of a sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine it at appraisal of the scientific community and oversight on my part. Right, modesty? Surely not. But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow. What's that? Lavender Furoshiki wrapping. A living present from Miss Susato. From Miss Susato? If possible, matters will be settled without giving me this. Those were her instructions, which she asked me to do her disfavor. I don't understand. Miss Susato foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means of both devious and underhands, and that you, Mr. Nadahodo, fighting fairly as you are wont do that, will find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to give in this small parcel. Those were the dear lady's instructions. A leaving present for Susato-san, wherever I'm gonna be. What? Is that the cat supplement? What is this? Oh! It's the machine I made. Ah! Yeah, the one with the cat door. And that little... is a cat door. Meow. Look, I used this. It's a nice invention. What is that? I call it the cat flappomat. You can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. What's Susie up to? Miss Susato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant. What? Didn't you say something like that before? You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Whatever does she mean by that, Mr. Schultz? That night, when you left Windy Banks to pursue the thieves, Mr. Seto made this contraption for a certain purpose. Use this contraption. This is your answer, dear fellow. No, not cryptic at all then. Seto-san used this cat flappomat that night. But why? Cat flappomat added was entered to the court record. I think I know exactly why she did it. For us to find out exactly what happened. Because it didn't exist before, so I could prove her innocence. Your 5 minutes is over. We're out of time already. Damn, that was quick. I'm grateful to your affording us a brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are anonymous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be futile. I wonder, Mr. Nadahodo. Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me. I need to be careful here. Make a wrong move and the trial ends badly. My lord, the defense requests a further cross-examination. Further cross-examination.
Objection.
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates you may not cross-examine a new witness now. The defense is not asking for cross-examination of a new witness, rather to continue with the one of the existing witnesses. What? It would appear a rather important detail escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. My lord! Request your lordship permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Interrupt. Thank you, officer. Very well. Cross-examination is temporarily suspended. Presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord. So, yeah, I was interrupted. So nobody can say anything then. If Reno has to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon, the court is obliged to allow it. This is absurd! I would remind those present in this courtroom. I confer the defense entirely within the rights of reserves to cross-examination. However, I will not permit under any protection of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity to conclude cross-examination. Thank you. Counsel, finally choose one statement from the witness testimony, but one piece of evidence presents to support your argument against it. A single chance to present evidence? And following that situation remains a change, I shall move to a decision. It's clear, counsels. Present witness further. My lord. Yes, my lord. A single statement, one single piece of evidence. Most generous. I'm gonna go faint now. Well then, Mr. Nodohodo, high time I fell in a dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands. Mr. Schultz! Bro, he just fainted. To stand so skillfully before the court state of such a high favor either demands extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling. I imagine he's feeling a little very low now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the empty chambers. Striking a man he's down, why don't you? Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared? Whoo! We are, baby. Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Schultz down, or Edie's. One of those final chances the son had given me. Decide the entire outcome of the trial. Because fuck you, bitch. Alright. Very well then. Under the terms I've outlined. Let's go. Boys. Okay, so. 3 and 6. Remember what's the peephole? So number 3 or 6 doesn't really matter which one, but it works. I pursued the man that shut himself in the storeroom so I could see the peephole in the door. But hold on. This machine can make a small flap. Or a door in that case. So there was no people before. Remember, the people didn't exist.
Objection!
Objection! Because it didn't exist! What if that is eccentric corruption council? Oh, it's my compliment, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out of the room. It's cut through the door and you think of, and it makes a little door in the middle of it. That's right, my lord. It's devised to create so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come out of they please. In fact, I'm sure we all work with that ourselves. By cat's lovers contrivance has no possible relevance in this case. Oh, really? Of course it doesn't. To start off with, there's no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Contradict yourself there, boy. You contradict yourself there. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid of CLC, so to do with the matter at hand. Perhaps it will help describe the function of another. He fucked himself over right there. That was a real coffin for him. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine, particularly no time at all. I beg your pardon, a peephole, you say? Yes, 2 nights ago. We arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder was taken place. That's right. According to the paperwork in the yard, it was your Japanese assistant, Schultz. Yes, the 3 of us were together, and recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time. Your assistant did what? There was a peephole in the storeroom door, I can attest to that. Because I looked at the peephole myself in order to see what's inside the locked room. This is ludicrous! What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door! I said as much as my testimony! I was gonna witness the crime for pity's sake. Yes, how could you? What? Counsel, kindly say what you mean. Alright, it's time. Strike the final blow. What I mean to say is, my lord, my assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door until the time that she did. The door had no hole to look through. No! You fucked yourself there.
Objection.
You fucked yourself real hard. This is as far as... Are you really suggesting that the peephole in the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place, the judicial sin using the device. Your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of your actions? That is the most serious act of vandalism! For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in a few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the stolen but I still alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes. Literally. But figuratively and literally. Riddled with explain yourself, counsel. The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom. Yes, that's the big Russian man in the back. However, at the time of the incident, the peephole did not yet exist in the door. There's no possible way that you could have seen you claimed to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies. Huh. Odd! Odd! Oh, this is really the credence in the revelation. None whatsoever, as my learned friend must have surely realized. Exactly! This is just some cheap trick designed to discredit me. I'm afraid not, sir. Of course it is. Do you seriously expect me to believe that playing through cut solid wooden door? Oh yes, a design is very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors. That's absurd! I don't believe it for a second. I had a feeling you'd say that. What? Waggy! Cooey! Time for dinner! You really put a door there, the court door! Oh my god! This little bow tie. Well. Ah! You young lady, it's Old Bailey! I was kept on Old Bailey and the Old Bailey. I'm not done yet, don't worry. This doesn't mean that the people in the storeroom were made by a machine. Then there's no way you could prove it was. No, but it was easy. It is easy. What? The cap flaps and cap flap creates all the thick size, and the dimensions of the peephole or Winnie Banks are the exact match. Oh! All Silky's lost for words. Excellent work, Edie. Thank you. And now, as my learned student's friend, to turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. Well, yes, that's true. Then you may have some difficulty establishing all the facts. For the sake of the argument, let's assume the peephole was dimensions a perfect fit for the contraption. In that case, when was the peephole cut? The prosecution demands to prove the answer. It was the proposed your line of inquiry, Lord Van Zeeks. It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the peephole was created after the incident using the device. But now the perpetrator returned to her native land, she cannot testify to fact. There is no proof. Ugh. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the peephole was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation. What? But I have photographic proof. Well, counsel, don't give up now, Reno. This is the time Graydon opening and force your way through. I don't know if I can do this, but I know one thing for sure. Shisato-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. Very well, the Council of Defense will present the evidence to support the claim made. Proof that people in the Windy Bank server was created at the event, not before. After the event, not before. So it has to be the post-shooting photograph. So you see here that before it doesn't exist. Afterwards, it exists. So you see that, huh? Yeah, so it's gonna be one of those. This is after.
Take that!
This is all proof coordinated.
Objection.
I think I got the wrong choice. Proves nothing. Ah, fuck, yep, wrong. Wrong picture choice. But yeah, it's... So yeah, it's like... Yeah, that it wasn't there. Oops, I misread. It was not there before in the photograph of Gina. It wasn't there. It didn't exist. What are you? A print from detectives' infrared cameras again. Yes, my judicial assistant, Mrs. Sato Mikatoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof. The necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel. Oh, the print shows a scene in the shock moments after the defendant entered the premises. Yes, agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the defense's broker. But more to the point. It pictures the storeroom door in the background. Let me see the print again. I don't believe it! That really is quite remarkable. The door is the storeroom. It's completely devoid of the people in the description! Oh! Mr. Graydon? Oh, you fucked up. You couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claimed to have done, because at the time it happened, there was no people in the door. Ugh. In other words, your testimony is fake. It's catalog of lies. Yeah! Do that ballerina spin and fall to, that's right. Do your ballerina spin, motherfucker. Do it. I want you to do the ballerina spin. Odd! I'm satisfied that the defense has supported his claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness' testimony was entirely fatuous. That's not the only thing we know beyond reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene. It's true, but more importantly, good lord, there's more Lord Van Zeeks! The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that's no proof this man's victim's killer. Oh, now he's gonna come up in the smile smirk. Yes, that's right. What? I was there at the scene, it's true. I was shot in the arm, it's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances. And the victim here. Oh, please. No! I don't believe this. So I'm gonna go downstairs real quick. I'll be right back and I'm gonna edit this.